Welcome back, friends. Today we're going to be talking about one of the best movies that I've seen in a long time, Dead Talent Society. Movie I watched last year that not enough people are talking about. And I think they should be talking about it, and I think you should check it out. So I'm going to do my best to convince you to watch this movie as early as possible. And if you're somebody who really doesn't want to see any spoilers about this movie, you can go to this section where I summarize the movie at the end, but there's not a lot of spoilers in this review, so don't worry too much. So stay tuned and let's talk about it, which nobody else is doing, but we're gonna. So let's go. Imagine if being a spooky ghost was actually a job that ghosts did, instead of just something that happens to people killed in certain ways. Now imagine that those spooky ghosts are the celebrities of the ghost world, and every other ghost wants to be a spooky ghost because they get to be on the TV, they get to be in adverts, they get to get brand deals and all kinds of stuff. That's pretty much the world of Dead Talent Society. A world where if you're not a ghost, you're a nobody. In this movie, we follow a character played by Jingle Wang who doesn't actually have a name. In the movie, they usually refer to her as You There or Rookie. So we'll refer to her as Rookie or Jingle going forward. She is a ghost who doesn't really have a specific talent, and she's also not that confident, and she doesn't really know what her value is and where she fits in. But due to circumstances out of her control, she has to become a spooky ghost. And it's not easy. Everybody wants to be one, like I said earlier. But thankfully, in doing so, she finds her place among this group of lovable losers who own their own ghost haunting agency. Now, this premise, I think, is naturally geared for a fun movie. There's lots of fun things that can happen with this. It kind of makes the ghost haunting experience more like a production, like maybe it's a behind the scenes of a theatre production or a movie or something like that. And I think it's pretty fun to see the makeup and the ideas come together to create, a functioning production. So this movie lends itself to that, as the Rookie has to create her own urban legend in order to become a professional scary ghost. This is a movie that I would not necessarily describe as laugh out loud funny, even though it is a comedy, but I would describe it as fun. And I think that can be just as important, if not just as impactful, as something being outright funny. I think that every scene is dripped with this idea of like, oh man, I can't wait to see how this turns out, or I can't wait to see how these losers approach this. As they bumble around and plot things out and try and figure things out and create these fun experiences for each other, and we get to see the behind the scenes of these things play out. It's very exciting and it's very compelling. And this definitely pays off in a big way in the final act of the movie, where they do a very ambitious ghost haunt that is full of all kinds of behind the scenes and meta narrative and fun little goofs and gags that really make it come together to be not only a lot of fun, but a very exciting and compelling experience too. And that's the kind of thing that I think a lot of people will really like when they watch this movie. I think they'll really love the exuberant and energetic way that this movie presents the whole ghost haunting experience. I think you'll be, if you're anything like me at least, you'll be excited every time one of these scenes go down and loving seeing how it turns out. It's tons of fun. But while that is the bread and butter of the movie, the general idea of the movie, the theme of the movie is definitely more about your personal value and the pressure for success and finding where you fit in and what you're able to do. It's definitely got a kind of a coming of age slice of life vibe to it as well. I think that theme is probably more relatable to people with Asian parents or who grew up in Asian cultures where that pressure for success is drilled into you as a young kid. But I definitely think that anybody can relate to the experience of coming into the workplace or growing up, or even just trying to find yourself when you're younger and not feeling very talented or not feeling very good, or even finding a place and not feeling like you deserve to be there, that imposter syndrome. I think that it hits on all of these narratives. And I also think that this movie pays off in a really, really successful way. It's no secret of mine, but I have cried pretty much every time I've watched this movie, is the emotional arc of Rookie comes to a head as she comes to confront the reason why she has this complex around her value about being seen as a success. And the movie does a really great job of making you feel empathetic towards her and really relating to her experiences, maybe experiences that you've seen in yourself when you've had similar situations. And Jingle Wang is perfect in these scenes, and the family is perfect, and it all leads up to this really satisfying payoff. Well, maybe not satisfying, but bittersweet and definitely very sad payoff that emotionally resonates with me, and I think will emotionally resonate with a lot of people. This movie has real heart to it, and I think that is what really excels it above similar, very fun, very energetic movies, is that this movie will make you feel, and it will really pull you in with its emotional core, like it did to me. And you may also find yourself in tears every time you watch it, and I've seen it like 6 times, so it's no joke. It really gets me. It's really, really powerful. It's really well done. Everything about it is perfect. And that, of course, resounds with Jingle finding her place, finding her value, seeing where she fits in, and finding her family for where she is. And I really like stories like that. So if you like coming of age and slice of life dramas where people eventually kind of find their place and you get to see them really fitting in at the end and knowing what they are and where they stand in the universe in the grand scheme of things, or the ghost world in this case, then I can't see any reason why you won't like the story for this movie. I also want to talk about the performances of this movie. This movie has a lot of really strong performances. Obviously, the lead, Jingle, is lovely. And this was the first movie that I saw her in, and as a result, I decided to check out every other movie that she was in that was available to me, which wasn't all of them, but I got to see a good few, many of which are really great. And maybe I'll make a video on those in the future. She's kind of a transformative actress, because now that I've seen her in a few stuff, I kind of get the gist of who she is, and she's able to play quite a few different styles. And in this role specifically, it feels very different to who she is as a person, because she plays this kind of nerdy, cute, bumbling, nervous, like introverted fool. And in real life, she very much seems like this kind of like it girl, supermodel type character, super confident, great at everything. So she's really playing against type in this and doing, I think, a really good job. She's definitely a character who you want to see succeed. The side characters in her lovable family all do a great job too. We have her best friend sidekick who is there for comedic payoff. We've got the grumpy guy. We've even got the the doofus dad, and the house mom in Sandra Pina who pulls everything together. And I think all of these performances are really good. I think Chamberlain definitely stands out as one of the better performances. They give him a parody song at one point that he gets to do that I think is really, really good, and is a total earworm, by the way, that will get stuck in your head. But the one that really stands out for me, probably the best performance in the movie, is Sandra Pina, who plays Catherine, who is the house mother of the situation. She's the original urban legend of this ghost haunting group, and they need a new ghost haunt to keep up their revenue so that they can keep having their haunting license and they can keep haunting. She plays this kind of very motherly, very caring character, but somebody who is very defensive and very proud. Definitely doesn't want to show that they're caring and loving and really looking out for everyone involved. And not only does she play this role really well, she does a lot of really, really good face acting. When she's reacting to stuff, when she's overhearing stuff, and when she's subtly trying to show that she cares, her facial acting performance really gets that across, and I think she's really compelling and she's really likeable. And she's got tons of energy. She has a ton of these acrobatic and athletic scenes where during the ghost haunting moments where she has to really perform, where she brings all of this energy, style and class to the role, and she's a delight to watch. I think she is, I said probably earlier, but I think to be frank, she's probably the best performance in this movie by far. She's really something, and Catherine is a really, really good character who really brings it all together and nurtures this group, and I definitely think people will see her as a key supporting role to our lead character. Alongside that, there's a lot of little tiny roles that they really nail as well. Usually when you watch a movie like this, you get a lot of small roles in there, and some of those are not so good. But in this movie, pretty much every side character, every character who's only in this for a small while, nails what they're doing. They've got funny bits, they've got unique characters, they're all playing different kinds of ghosts that are riffing on all kinds of stuff. And some of them only get a few moments of screen time. Some that stand out to me is they do a bunch of interviews for a bunch of ghosts during one of the haunts, and all of those performances feel really natural and really great. We also get characters like the couple who are scared in the elevator during one of the haunts, and their performance is really good as well, despite their limited screen time. We even have streamers who come in a streamer who comes in at the early point in the movie, and his performance is great too. It creates this real livable world where you can really tell that everybody involved in the movie was given their all, and I think that all of the performances together really keep your immersion going for the project at hand. And the only thing left to talk about is, well, everything else. The way it looks, the world building, and the parody elements. Ultimately, these things individually don't require enough to be their own section, so I'm just going to kind of lump these together. But basically what I'll say is that this movie fills its world with all of these different elements and world building things about its ghost universe and the rules of its society that make it feel very living and breathable. That really makes it a world that you can immerse yourself in, and I think that's a key part of why the movie works. There's tons of good little parody gags as well that also doubly benefit this kind of world building immersion. One example is that there's a magazine early on in the movie that the ghosts are in, and instead of Vogue, it's called Morgue. And there's lots of little things like that in there that are fun to notice, but also really set apart that this is a fully living, breathing world outside of that. They have all kinds of rules that they don't fully explain, but they definitely hint at and imply that there's a set of rules about how the ghost world works regarding how the ghosts get paid when they're scary ghosts, why the ghost licenses are required, and things like that that really immerse yourself in this project, alongside the funny little elements that are involved too. And what's the deal with all of the giraffes? And I also want to say that this movie is very colourful, it's very quick, it's shot very well, and it's got a great soundtrack. It's a movie that has, I would say, a lot of energy and a lot of vibe to it. It's definitely a movie for people who want to see that kind of like propulsive, snappy dialogue, the quick movement, and it relaxes a couple of moments when it tries to hit its emotional payoff, and I think that those moments are brilliant, so it definitely is worth it. But the majority of the movie is this kind of briskly paced, propulsive, punchy, parody, fun atmosphere where things are just going, people are snapping stuff off, and they're really getting things done, and it's a lot of fun. I can't see any reason why I wouldn't have a good time with it. And so in summary, for the people who didn't want to see any spoilers, I don't think I really went into many spoilers, but if you didn't want to see any spoilers, here's a summary for you. This movie's, to me, great. It's tons of fun, it has a super strong emotional core, it's got great performances throughout, and I think that for people who like slice of life and coming of age dramas, this is going to be a huge success. It's a riot from start to finish. I don't see any reason why you can't like it. That's the Cliff Notes version of the review. Thanks for watching. This is the first in the line of the much more normal reviews that I'm going to do. I hope you check out this movie if you haven't seen it yet, because it really is that good. And nobody's talking about it, and guess what? It's on Netflix worldwide. So you really don't have an excuse if you have Netflix. You should be watching this movie at least once. At least give it a try. And that's about the face of it. So if you've seen it and you just wanted to see what I think, let me know what you thought of the movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? Get there now. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Comment, subscribe, and like. Only if you really want it. If you don't, then don't. That's what's up to you. Catch you on the flip side.